That's how successful tour operators ride out this storm, no matter how long it lasts. Hey there, Kelsey Toner here, the founder of Guest Focused Tour Business Coaching, where every day myself and our experienced and talented team of coaches are helping you build a thriving, profitable tour business. In today's video, we want to talk a little bit about how smart operators are planning for uncertainty. If you're like many operators in the world right now, there's a good chance that you might be facing economic volatility, recession fears, inflation pressures, perhaps unpredictable booking patterns, and add climate disruptions, over tourism, and various backlashes because of regional conflicts and political tensions, and it's enough to make any operator feel paralyzed. The most experienced operators in our community, including many of our coaches who are actively running their own tour and activity businesses, well, they aren't sitting idle. They're planning for flexibility, not perfection. They are focused on what they can control: cash flow, thinking about staffing and staffing flexibility, and thirdly, creating guest-first offers that can convert even in uncertain times. Let's go through these 3 tactics individually to, again, give you some of the concrete things that you can be doing if you are facing this type of uncertainty. 1, cash flow clarity. The first thing our coaching team is seeing from successful operators, well, getting crystal clear on your cash position. Your cash runway isn't just a nice to have in uncertain times, it's your lifeline. When the economy gets shaky, cash is king. Look, revenue and all kinds of other things can look good on paper, but we have to keep in mind cash is what pays the bills, what allows us to keep the lights on or keep running our operation for as long as possible. So here's what to figure out right now. 1, know your burn rate, exactly how much cash goes out each month, and your runway, which is how long you can operate if bookings dropped dramatically. Secondly, this is a great time for cost-cutting audit. This means reviewing all reoccurring payments or subscriptions and eliminating costs that aren't delivering clear value. It's surprising how these costs add up when left unmonitored. Put another way, you're extending your runway and freeing up resources. And thirdly, look into shifting your payment structures and any other additional ways to get money flowing into your business. Let's make this concrete with just a couple examples. So for a multi-day operator, you may have opportunities to get more cash into your business by incentivizing and rewarding customers who are willing to pay up front, or essentially pay the balance that they're ultimately owing you. Maybe you could do something like obviously some kind of discount if they are paying in full before a certain date. Perhaps you could have some type of room upgrade. We talk about this sometimes of if you have a special offer, you come up with a series of special offers where, hey, if you get your deposit in, or you get half of your trip paid in the next couple weeks or before this deadline, you'll be entered in a draw for a free room upgrade. These are small, simple tactics where we can encourage and incentivize those clients to have a little more money flowing into your business sooner than later. For day tour operators, it could be something as simple as running a campaign where you're offering pretty heavily discounted gift cards. We have an entire video on how effective gift cards are in terms of the additional revenue that it gets for you in terms of getting cash into your business sooner. I highly recommend checking out that video if you haven't yet. The key insights that our coaches are sharing right now is that, look, we need to wrap our heads around things like cash flow and runway, and then take steps to elongate that runway and decrease that burn rate. 2, staffing with agility. The second area that our coaching team emphasizes is really looking at our labor costs, because let's face it, the human beings in our business are often some of the biggest expenses that we have. Now, those of us that lived through the pandemic, we've had that relatively recent experience of cutting right down to bare bones. But what we can do now is try and have some flexibility in the structures to set ourselves up for success. For example, can we build a reliable network of seasonal contractors and freelancers? Instead of hiring full-time positions or locking those in, many operators cultivate relationships with trusted professionals that they can call on when demand is high. This approach gives you more flexibility to scale up or scale down based on demand without carrying those fixed costs. Secondly, think about cross-training existing team members. This creates internal flexibility if you need to shrink or reorganize quickly. In our coaching community, we've seen examples of office staff trained to lead tours, or guides trained to handle some booking administration or taking on marketing tasks. Essentially, these businesses can adjust hours rather than laying people off, keeping their culture intact, ideally, while still reducing those costs. And thirdly, we hear over and over again from our coaches that doubling down on your A players is key. Guides who get consistent rave reviews, salespeople who convert at high rates, or key operation staff who solve problems before they happen. These are people who are going to help you weather any storm. We want to do everything possible to work with them to stay with your business. Some of the strongest leaders in tour and activity businesses are those that are willing to be, open and authentic with some of those key team members when facing uncertainty or essentially trying to create the conditions under which you can survive to thrive. Anytime that you can involve some of those key people in coming up with a solution, from the brainstorming to giving them agency over a couple of different options to continue working together, we typically see stronger results. 3, optimize your offers and sales pages. Keeping with this theme of things that are under our control, it is a really important time to look at those sales pages, to look at our product lineup with the tours, activities, experiences, and making sure that we're putting our best foot forward. We want to be converting those visitors, those leads into customers at the highest rate possible. And in times of uncertainty or changing conditions, it's a great idea to go back and touch base with your ideal target guests, empathize, listen, understand what might have shifted, and change your offers or how you're presenting your offers accordingly. This could mean adjusting your hook or bold promise for a tour or activity that addresses current concerns. Maybe implementing more compelling guarantees that remove booking hesitation, like a money-back guarantee or trip protection, to give people an option to have more flexibility. We want to address objections head on. So update and review your frequently asked questions section. Make sure you've got an FAQ on every single one of your sales pages to overcome those concerns. Be highly selective about incorporating testimonials that can more specifically address those hesitations. Ensure that we're layering authentic urgency and reasons to act now across all of our offers. As tour operators, we have such an opportunity to leverage some of the genuine capacity limitations. There's only so many seats on the bus. There's only so many spaces on this tour. Offer early booking benefits. Try and create a fear of missing out. And that's going to help you transform waiting from seeming like the safe option to the more risky option in the eyes of your guests. The key with this focus on optimizing your offers and adapting or adopting messaging obviously has a lot to do with listening and empathizing and appreciating what your ideal target guests are going through. Another simple example, I know many day tour operators here in Canada who are facing a very different climate, where suddenly we might have a lot more local and regional travelers that are looking to spend their vacation dollars and their holiday dollars right here in Canada with Canadian companies. The nice thing about this step is that you can update, adapt your messaging, your positioning, and your marketing without a huge cost. That's why this focus on offers and this guest-first approach is one of the most cost-effective things that you can do to set yourself up for success. Here's what all 3 of these tactics from our coaching community have in common. They don't require you to predict the future. They simply give you the flexibility to adapt and thrive come what may. Clarity about your cash flow, your burn rate, and your runway gives you insights as to where you are as you go through this period of transition and the options that you have ahead of you. Secondly, that staffing agility is going to allow you to scale up or scale down as needed. And that focus on updating your offers to be as relevant and as compelling as possible in the current climate for your ideal target guests. Put another way, focus on what you can control: your cash, your people, and your offers. That's how successful tour operators ride out the storm, no matter how long it lasts. Now, if you'd like some additional help through these strategies, or you want to get into the weeds with a tour business coach, I invite you to book a call using the link below. It's a free 45-minute session with one of our coaches, and we'd love to help you out and give you the practical tools to implement this. In the comments down below, we'd love to hear from you. What are some of the concrete steps that you are taking right now to set you up for success as you navigate a period of uncertainty? Feel free to share an experience or a lesson learned from past periods as well. Give this video a like and subscribe and hit that notification bell if you like this type of content. Thanks so much for being here, and we'll see you in the next video.